Hello and welcome to Indian Story. There is nothing more beautiful and exciting than story. Everybody has a story. In fact, the story is a light. Now let's watch what this story has to say.
I am Manjit Singh Sawhney. I was formerly a businessman, but now I am a retired person. I am also the past governor of Rotary International District 3011. Basically, we belong to West Pakistan, West Punjab, which is now in Pakistan. And though we hail from Rawalpindi, but my father was in business with Iran. And there's in the border town of Quetta, which is in Balochistan, Pakistan now. I was born there, and I spent first 6 years of my life in Quetta, and with little recollection on what all happened there, though the memories are that we had enjoyed our life there. But in 47, my father came to Delhi, and Delhi while in Delhi it was tough time, because after partition we had no place to live, we had no place to go. So we gradually, my father, there was an evacuee property in Connaught Place, so we shifted there. And for first 6 months we were there. And once my father realized that we were not going back anymore, it'll be here, so he decided to take a place in Dehradun, and that's where I took my education in St. Joseph's Academy. And thereafter I also did the 12th standard was called the FA classes of the UP University, and I did that. And thereafter I did my international marketing from Indian Institute of Foreign Trade. But in between, the family had some tough time because my father died when I was in school, and he came from Iran and fell ill and died. So we had some financial problem for some time, but then gradually I took over. I left my studies midway and took up a job, started small business, then took up my studies again in the evening classes, and then did my international marketing from my IIFT. And gradually I started my own business, which fortunately was good. And then in 1987 I joined Rotary International. My father's name was Harbans Singh Sawhney, and he was the son of Chaudhry Ram Singh Sawhney, who was the municipal commissioner in his lifetime in Rawalpindi. And my grandfather's younger brother, Sarar Bahadur Swarup Singh, was also the chief engineer of Bhakra Nangal Dam. When it was constructed, he was the chief engineer. My mother, Anand Kaur Sawhney, she hailed from her parents were settled in. They were one of the pioneers to go to Iran for business. Her father had the agency for oil, and the main market in Zaidan was called Sardar Sahib Mota Singh Market. And his children, they have started these schools here, Sardar Bahadur Mota Singh, SS Sardar Sahib Mota Singh schools in Delhi. There are 3 of them running here. And since my father died very early, my mother had a very big influence on me. She, I think, inculcated so many qualities, and she was a very hard-working lady, honest lady, and had influence not only on me, on anyone who came across her. And she was one of the pillars of our family. Basically, ours was a joint family with my children from my chachajis. They were 4 boys, and I have only 2 sisters. And when my father died, he told me that, look, you need to get them both married. They are now your responsibility. So I made it a point to see that they both got married first, and thereafter I got married and made a life for myself. But I had a very close association. We were a very close-knit family, and but unfortunately my elder sister passed away when she was young, at the age of 45. My father also died at the age of 45. And her children, she was settled in Nagpur, and my other younger sister is in Delhi. We are a very close-knit family, small family. So we keep meeting each other very often. In fact, even now the phone calls that were coming from my nephew saying, let's go to Kartarpur Sahib. But I think my son is coming, so we'll have to postpone it for some time. My son's name is Dr. Manjit Singh Sawhney. He's a medical doctor. He did his MBBS from here and then went to Chicago to do his master's, and now working with Harvard Medical School. He's a gastroenterologist. I have a daughter, Manita Sawhney, and she's married to Prabdev Singh. She herself she's a Dr. Manita Sawhney. She did her PhD from JNU. I have 2 grandchildren from them, Veer Singh Sawhney and Shiv Singh Sawhney. So they both were American born, but both doing now. One is 18, the other is 16, and he's just joined. He's finished his school, and the elder one has finished his school and just joined. But my husband Prabdev is a banker. He is the managing director of JP Morgan Bank, and they have a son. I have a grandson from them, Arjun Singh, and he is now turning 16 and going to be leaving school, because in Bombay you leave school in 10th and then you have to go into a semi-college. So I have 3 grandchildren, all 3 boys. I would have loved to have a girl, but basically I was in the underground business, like I told you. And many people, when I tell them I'm in the underground business, they hesitate to speak to me. But no, I was basically dealing in underground tunnels and underground powerhouses, especially specializing in hydroelectric tunnels. And I was supplying equipment for them. It was a business I really enjoyed working. Though I've been in garment industry, previous to that, I was working also with other companies. But the 2 businesses I really enjoyed was the garment trade, and this I did with my cousins, so they took it over. And I was doing this business, but I enjoyed doing it. I'm basically a salesperson, so sales is this thing. So any problem, my motto was that whatever I do, I need to be the leader in that. My inspiration in life has been my mother, definitely, and my father. My father he never only looked for himself, he used to see that the whole family flourished. Even in the time of partition, I remember my father sent a car to his elder brother, who was in Rawalpindi, to make sure that in case of problems, he would at once cross the border, because from Rawalpindi, Jammu is just about 45 minutes or 1 hour, and to cross over to India, that's it. So my father had a big inspiration, and with the result that I also make sure that it is family that is more important to me. Whenever there's been a challenge, and I've faced many challenges that way, but I felt that I could not give up. And I really thought that whenever there was a challenge, I had to face challenges. There was a time I practically living hand to mouth. And then I had got married, and I had a son, and then I went into suddenly big business crisis. But ultimately we came out of it shining, and gradually built myself up. You see, now I'm first I'm an early riser. I've always been. Yeah, I'd like to be in my office by 9 o'clock latest, but nowadays that I'm retired, go for a walk in the morning, and after breakfast, I'm back in the office, doing some making sure that, because at present I'm working on 13 toilet blocks in gender-specific schools in Mewat. And then I'm also taken up the toilet in individual houses. I've already constructed 1,500 of them, and in the process of providing these toilets in individual houses, another 250. But basically I'm a polio man, let me tell you. I was chairing the Polio Plus office of Polio Plus for Southeast Asia for Rotary International, and I was also representing them to WHO for the polio program and coordinating between Rotary and them. And it was not an easy job to eradicate polio in India, but we did it. I take life as it comes. I don't take too much pressures or too much think this is bad or something. I know it's going to settle down. I've faced a lot of problems in life, but I've taken them in the stride. I'm also doing a lot of work in water and sanitation. And when Modi ji, our Prime Minister, announced Swachh Bharat, on that very day, 2nd October, I had inaugurated 10 toilet blocks in Ghaziabad in gender-specific schools. I have been a very massive traveler. I've been around the world practically a couple of times, and I've hardly any place that I have not been to. But the best memory that I have is of my visit. Once I was invited by the Rotary District of Hawaii to come and give the talks to all the clubs there, because at that time polio was the need of the hour. So I went around there, and I've seen many beautiful places, but Maui in Hawaii I thought was the most beautiful place I met. But there are a lot of fond memories of my visit to Vietnam, our visit to China, our visit to the whole of America, United States, or Europe. They are all old beautiful places having history, long time history like India. And another good place I loved was Egypt, where you really also again, and wherever I went I found people to be very good. देखो फेवरेट तो हमारी नया दौर थी या पुरानी फिल्में थी, उसकी राज कपूर की बूट पॉलिश थी, आवारा थी, श्री 420 थी, ये पुरानी फिल्में हैं जो हमारी फेवरेट थी। नहीं में से आई वुड से जो इसकी थी, क्या नाम है, दुल्हन ले जाएगा, वो जिसकी है वो वाली थी. So that was good because it had fun songs and all, and it was fun. आवारा हूँ, जा गर्दिश में हूँ, आसमान का तारा हूँ, आवारा हूँ. You know, I can't say I'm extremely spiritual, but I do believe in the Almighty, and I do believe that, yes, do good, and also do good to others. And like with our teachings, everything is not for yourself, share it with others. जा तू मेरे वल हैं ता क्या मचंदा, तो सब कुछ मैनू सौंपिया जा तेरा बंदा. लक्ष्मी तोठ नावी मेरे गुरु गोविंदा, जा तू मेरे वल हैं ता क्या मचंदा. ये इसका अर्थ ये है, हे भगवान तू जब मेरे साथ है तो किसी के साथ हो, उसको कोई प्रॉब्लम नहीं होनी चाहिए। जब भी कोई प्रॉब्लम आएगी, कुछ भी होगा, मैं तेरे साथ, तू अच्छा करता, तू अपने कर्म कर। जैसे जो हमारे उसमें लिखा हुआ है गीता में, तुम अपने कर्म करो, तुमको फल मिलेगा ही मिलेगा। इसलिए मैं तेरे हमेशा साथ हूँ। जब तुम अपने अच्छा काम करते रहो, डू गुड, एंड I will never forsake you. I was invited into Rotary by a close friend, and it was in the year June of 1987 that I was invited. Though I'd heard of Rotary a lot, like when we were studying in Dehradun, there used to be in the club Rotary meeting. It meant a big thing, so everyone was there for lunch time and all. So when I was invited, I did not hesitate to join Rotary. And when I joined Rotary, I thought it was more for networking. But gradually I realized that it was much, much more, and that it was a service organization. And really it changed my outlook in life, because earlier, before that, the only thought of charity was giving money somewhere or giving money for a cause, and that was it, or to a beggar some money. But with this, with joining of Rotary, I realized it was much, much more. And unless you gave of yourself a little bit, unless you get involved in something. When I see one of the children there who was there, he graduated there, and when we had some event, he had become a big person, and he came over there and contributed towards it and said that, look, I am now going to be helping these people because you all helped us, we will contribute something. But we are doing, I have seen that whenever there's a cause, there's no dearth. A couple of months back, last year, someone came forward and said, look, Manjit, if I have a place, office in Joshi Road in Karol Bagh. If you build an eye hospital there, I'll give it to you, donate this to your Rotary Club. Today, you see there in Karol Bagh at Joshi Road, we joint hands with Shroff Eye Hospital in Daryaganj. And we are doing 50% cataract surgeries there or treatment there. Not only cataract, even glaucoma, retina, free of cost. I was also associated with the National Association of Blind Women in house cars. The biggest support in my life has been my wife. Her name is Rita, and incidentally she was also born in Quetta. So we both from Quetta. We've been now married together for 50 years, and really the biggest support I've got it from her. Not only her support, many times, you thought differently, but she put you on the right track, and of course she's beautiful. My message to them is, grow up, look after yourself, shine in the world, but keep doing good in the world. Make sure that it's everything you need to look after. Everything is not your own. You need to share it with others. My common man is peace, harmony, especially seeing today, these days, efforts. Religion doesn't matter, no matter what caste we live. End of the day, we are all human beings. And I have seen this around the world. Like people from abroad are coming to India to help us eradicate polio, help us eradicate TB, help us doing this. Similarly, it's a huge, today the world is a small place. So I don't think anything should come in between us. Humanity is the biggest, peace and living in harmony, and the country will, India, it's a decade of India. India will shine.
Yes, we are all unique. We come and go. But these stories are legacy forever. Do share your story with Indian Story anytime, anywhere. And don't forget to subscribe our channel